After Maria's friend from college joined the company, she gave him my full-time spot. Flex, he needs this spot more than you do. I'd been working myself to the bone, pulling all-nighters just to keep up with the project. My health, my sleep, my effort, none of it meant a thing to her. When I got home, I packed up all her stuff. You should go.
I'm exhausted.
I don't want to fight with you. Maria froze, her eyes suddenly turning red. How can you just leave me? Over something this small? The moment she said that, I lost it. Small? My ass. Screw your small thing. Screw you and screw your whole family. Get out. I grabbed the nearest throw pillow and hurled it at the couch. Maria, shocked that I could get so angry, just stood there, staring at me in disbelief. The pillow hit the sofa with a dull thud. Flex, it's just a full-time spot. It's not like you're not getting it. Your probationary period is just being extended. I told you I'd make sure you get it. You're not hurting for money right now, so converting to full-time doesn't really change much for you. Besides, you have me. No one's going to mess with you. Caleb is different. If he doesn't get this spot, he'll have to go back home. His family is counting on his salary for his dad's medical bills. I can't just stand by and watch him hit a dead end. She didn't get it. Looking at the person I had loved for 4 years, a chill went down my spine. Maria, at my last internship, my mentor told me there was a full-time position for me. But it turned out the headcount was being shared with external hires. I worked my ass off for so long, and right before I was supposed to convert, they told me they had already found a better candidate. Do you remember? I sat right here in this exact spot and didn't say a word all night. It wasn't that I couldn't accept not getting the position, it was the feeling of being deceived. It was like all my sincerity, dedication, and hard work were completely worthless. I was even naive enough to tell my mentor I wanted to work with her forever. She was truly wonderful. She looked at me for a long time that day before finally smiling and saying, "Of all the interns on our team, you're the one I believe in the most. And I really like you. That's why the truth hurt so much more." Everything she'd said was just to keep me working. She had me wrapped around her finger, making me work like an ox that just needed a single command to get going. Back then, Maria told me her company had an opening that fit my interests and was open to new graduates. "With your skills, you'll definitely get it. I believe in you." She sat beside me, gently patting my back. She told me it was okay. Just try again. Luckily, my luck turned. While prepping for my thesis defense, I polished my resume and started applying. After 4 rounds of interviews, I got the job offer. At Maria's company, the pay was great, which meant the culture was a pressure cooker. It was so intense that if you fell behind, an intern would walk right up and ask if you needed help, offering to take over some of your work. It was even crazier than when I was an intern. I didn't dare slack off for a second. Pulling all-nighters to keep the project on track was a regular thing. I was so busy I could barely think straight, working from dawn till dusk. I'd get home and just want to collapse into bed. I barely spoke to Maria anymore. But I'm stubborn. Once I decide something is worth doing, I see it through. Plus, I was the only new hire in my department, and traditionally that meant a smooth conversion to full-time was a given. I gave it my all. Sure enough, as soon as the probationary period was over, the full-time conversion notice came out. But it wasn't for me. It was for Maria's college friend, Caleb. He had never even worked a single day. "Flex, your trial period is just being extended. But you're saving his life. You've always been so kind. Why are you so angry this time? It's 2 more months at most, then you'll convert. It's a sure thing." When I didn't respond, Maria continued, "I know this is hitting you hard because of your last internship, but this situation is completely different. Your job is still your job. Nothing will change." The silent agony I felt that night, she probably thought a few pats on the back were all it took to fix it. So now, she was brushing aside my hard work and hopes with the same casual ease she used to comfort me back then. Maria really didn't seem to understand, and I didn't understand if the person I loved had ever truly loved me back. If she'd ever cared for my pain the way I cared for hers. I let out a self-mocking laugh. "Maria, if the roles were reversed today, if some girl from my college told me she'd kill herself if she didn't get this job, I'd tell her to go ahead. Why on earth would I sacrifice your interests to save some so-called friend from school? Is she really at a dead end? Am I the only person in the world she can ask for help? Can't she find a decent job on her own? Maria frowned, as if considering my words. She hesitated for a moment, then said, "That's different. He's a guy who just graduated. He doesn't have much real-world experience. And besides, he's facing a real crisis." So the crisis I was facing wasn't real? Because I didn't want Maria to worry, I never complained to her about how hard work was, no matter how tough things got. And to prove I was worthy of standing by her side, I never shied away from a challenge. Of course, she'd never know that I worked overtime voluntarily only to have a coworker throw me under the bus. That day, I told her not to wait up for me. I walked home from the office, a long, long walk. Under the cover of night, my eyes were red the entire way. But when I got home, she had dinner ready, my favorite fruit cut up, and the bathwater drawn at the perfect temperature. And I felt like I could keep going. Sometimes, when life felt too hard and I was just so tired, Maria would take my hand and we'd go for a walk, and I'd feel okay again. I never asked for much, but now she wouldn't even give me that. I asked her, "Then what does my effort count for?" Maria rubbed her temples, looking completely exhausted. "Flex, why don't you get it? Your hard work hasn't been dismissed. You're just going to see the results a little later, that's all. Can you please stop obsessing over this? Caleb is a good kid. He'll be grateful to you." I stared at her, my voice firm. "No, kindness without principles isn't kindness, it's being a doormat. You hear me? Pathetic doormat. What gives you the right to hurt me? Do I deserve this?" I rarely ever curse. But right then, I felt like if I didn't, the anger would make me sick. It took her a few seconds to process what I'd said. "Flex, have you lost your mind? I remember in college, you'd see an elderly person picking through trash and run to buy them food, and you'd feel sad about it for hours. You'd buy food for the stray cats on campus and get them neutered. You'd donate your scholarship money to student aid funds. I just don't understand. You feel sorry for the elderly, for kids, for animals, but you can't find it in your heart to tolerate one Caleb?" She grabbed her phone and slammed it down on the table. It hit the surface with a loud crack. "Do you think there's something going on between us? My phone's right here. Go through it. If there is anything between us, I'll drop dead right now. How about that?" She was furious, as if my lack of trust was the real issue. Suddenly, I just felt drained. No matter what I said, Maria wouldn't understand. She wasn't trying to see things from my perspective. She didn't care for my pain the way I cared for hers. I closed my eyes, weary. "We're not on the same path anymore. Please leave." Maria let out a long breath. "Flex, I'll give you some time. Think about it. Think about everything you've said and done today and ask yourself if you're right." Watching her leave, a memory surfaced. "Don't think about it." I shoved down every memory of Maria. You have to be able to let go of what you pick up. If someone hurts me, I don't want them anymore. To keep my emotions in check, I spent the whole night deep cleaning the apartment and submitted my resignation. I just wanted to hand over my work and get out as quickly as possible. The next day at the office, I met Caleb. He was thin, wearing a white button-down, looking like a gust of wind could blow him over. When I walked in, he was hunched over, asking a coworker a question. Coworker A said loudly, on purpose, "You don't even know how to do that? You can ask one of my interns. They'd be happy to help you." "Oh right. We have another guy on our team who hasn't converted yet. He's a pro at this stuff. You should ask him." He really emphasized the word converted. Caleb's face paled. Hearing my footsteps, he turned around. Flex, hey. Maria mentioned you a lot." I scoffed. "A lot? Funny. She told me she barely knows you." Caleb turned even whiter, clearly not expecting me to be so blunt. He stammered for a while, but I didn't wait for an explanation. "Whatever. Let's not waste time. Let's go over the handover." Coworker B shot his head up. "You're quitting?" In an instant, everyone was looking at me. I forced a smile at him. "Yeah." He saw the bitterness in it and said quickly, "It'll get better." Then he turned toward Caleb and rolled his eyes at the ceiling. The two co-workers who'd thrown me under the bus before chimed in, gloating. Looks like some people are just so annoying that even their own girlfriend won't back them up. Flex, no offense, I'm talking about a friend of mine. Man, your friend sounds pathetic. But hey, people who are pathetic usually have it coming, haha. After a round of chatter, the office went quiet again as everyone got back to work. Caleb clenched his fists. I glanced at him and then looked away. Okay, let me walk you through the main things I'm responsible for and the projects I'm currently involved with. I noticed Caleb was completely zoning out. I sighed internally. Pathetic. Our colleagues knew bits and pieces of the real story and had no interest in dealing with Caleb. More importantly, I was more competent than he was and had a better working relationship with the team. With me gone and Caleb taking over, the project would slow down, and that would affect their bonuses. Of course, they weren't happy. After Caleb walked away, another coworker leaned in. You just let them give your spot to him like that? I did some digging, and the kid has zero connections. The implication was that Maria had pulled strings to get him in, and that I was the one who got stepped on to make it happen. His eyes were filled with confusion. Honestly, I didn't get it either. We were so in love. All I wanted was to build my own career and have a good relationship. But maybe I was too greedy, and that's why I ended up with neither. He lowered his voice again. Did your girlfriend even talk to you about it? I shook my head with a bitter smile. Nope. And, just to correct you, it's ex-girlfriend. Flex, do you really think this is a good look? A familiar voice came from behind me. Maria looked furious. This is the office. Keep your personal life out of it. And another thing, be mad all you want, but can you act like an adult? Her words were completely out of line. Fine, two can play that game. Adult my ass. Screw your adult, screw your dad, screw your whole damn family tree. Is that enough? 'Cause I can keep going. Caleb popped up out of nowhere. Maria, Flex, it's all my fault. Please don't fight because of me. He looked timid like a startled deer. I know Flex doesn't like me, and that's why everyone is being so hostile. Flex, Maria and I are just friends, I swear. Please don't let this come between you two. It's okay if I have to suffer a little. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I just want to do a good job. It's okay if I'm misunderstood. Maria's tone was ice cold. Apologize to him. A rock formed in my chest, and it hurt to breathe. Caleb glanced up at me, then quickly said, he doesn't have to. Flex is just doing this because he loves you so much. I know he didn't mean to hurt me. I'm hurt, but I won't hold it against him. Maria turned to him, annoyed. I was talking to you, Caleb. Apologize to Flex. Caleb bit his lip, his eyes turning red with humiliation. Maria looked at him and hesitated again. Forget it. Just get back to work. Don't overthink it. Then, as if she were guiding a naive younger brother, she explained, Caleb, you have to take responsibility for every word you say. This is a workplace, not a school. Bringing your personal drama here won't do you any good. People will just think you're unprofessional and unreliable. Understand? Caleb looked up, his eyelashes wet with tears, the picture of innocence. He sniffled and said to me, Flex, I'm sorry, but I could see it clearly. There wasn't an ounce of remorse on his face. His eyes, however, held a clear look of defiance. I got the message. To me, Maria had said, this is the office. Keep your personal life out of it. But to him, she was giving a detailed analysis, patiently teaching him. A wave of defeat washed over me, stronger than anything I'd felt before. No matter how hard I tried to suppress the storm of emotions inside me, Maria could still get to me. And I realized I could no longer understand her, just as she couldn't understand me. But for the last 4 years, I had loved her so earnestly, and I had felt her love in return. How many 4-year spans do you get in a lifetime where two people are constantly on each other's minds? I almost lost control. I blinked hard, forcing back the sting in my eyes. I took a deep breath, wanting nothing more to do with either of them. Caleb, you don't need to see me as a competitor. As far as the job goes, I've already quit. And as for Maria, I glanced at Maria's retreating back, paused, and continued. We already broke up. I don't know if he believed me. Probably not. because he quickly forced a smile and said, "Flex, that's not it at all. You're being way too sensitive. And just a piece of advice. Maria's a great person. You shouldn't throw the word breakup around. It hurts people. It might work once or twice, but say it enough, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy." The pitiful look from before was completely gone, replaced by a growing smugness. If I, Flex, ever get back together with Maria, may I be struck by lightning, hit by a car the second I step outside, and die broke. Is that clear enough for you? For a split second, Caleb's face went blank. If you were fighting me for the job, I could at least respect you. But to do all this for a woman? I just don't get it. Why are you so desperate to snatch up something I'm done with? She's all yours. I patted his shoulder. Work hard. I hope you actually manage to stick around. After all, I had put a lot of myself into this job. I once really wanted to stay. Caleb violently brushed off his shoulder where I'd touched it. Who needs your fake sympathy? If you're so great, how come you couldn't get Maria to stand on your side and defend you? You have the nerve to give me advice? Have you even figured out your own life? You used to be her college junior too. Are you feeling threatened now that I'm here? Maria was 2 years ahead of me in school. Ordinarily, our paths would have never crossed. But fate has a funny way of working. When she didn't have an umbrella, she'd randomly duck under a classmate's and ask to share for a bit. Everyone was nice and never said no. Some would even go out of their way to walk her part of the way home. So, in return, she would offer her umbrella to students caught in the rain. That day it was pouring. I was rushing toward the academic building, head down, when an umbrella suddenly appeared over me. She was wearing flip-flops, and her feet slipped. She came sliding toward me, and the handle of the umbrella smacked me in the back of the head. The momentum almost knocked both of us over. She instinctively grabbed my arm to steady me, and I started apologizing profusely. Half of Maria's body was soaked. She started to speak. The rain was too loud I couldn't hear her. She raised her voice. "Dude, can you move a little? The water splashing off you is getting all over my shoes. They're freezing." I froze and looked down. Her white canvas sneakers were soaked, and water was dripping from her pant cuffs. Looking up, her beautiful face was expressionless. Maria didn't look happy. But when a beautiful person has a resting bitch face, they still look beautiful. "I'm so sorry. Let me send you some money for the damages. Let me buy you dinner. What do you want to eat, miss?" Maria stared at me for a moment, then said, "No thanks." She was still standing there, so I said without thinking, "Well, you could move away a little." Maria was stunned. Then, as if something occurred to her, she turned and ran. I immediately chased after her. "Are you sure you don't want to add me on WhatsApp? There's a special promotion. Add me now and get $1,000. For real. I'm not lying. Add me now and it's 2,000. Hey, don't run. How about 3? She ran and I chased. The distance between us grew. I kept my head down and ran until a hand suddenly appeared in front of me. A phone with a QR code was held out. Maria's face was still cold, her tone matching it. "You add me and I'll send you 5,000. Her contact info and cash. Score." Later, Maria told me that when she saw me that day, her heart skipped a beat. She thought it was love at first sight, but looking back, she realized it was probably just heart palpitations from how mad I made her. It was pouring rain, I'd let water splash all over her, and after a half-assed apology, I told her to move. She couldn't believe she had a crush on someone who was so awful to her. The second she realized it, she bolted. Thinking about it now, I couldn't help but smile. It felt like watching my youth flash before my eyes. Besides my friends, Maria was the one who heard most of my teenage secrets. She gave me endless support and help, giving me the courage and strength to believe in myself. And back then, I imagined a future with her countless times. In those daydreams, 18-year-old me and her reached endless happy endings. But 18-year-old Flex, did you know? You two don't have a future. Maybe if I just backed down, we could have kept loving each other. But I can't let myself do that. She saw my pain and thought nothing of it. A coworker slammed his hand on his desk. "This is a workplace. Either do your job or get someone who can." Caleb fell silent and glared at me. Fine by me. Less handover work for me to do. I didn't stay late to work like I usually did. I left right on time. No one said anything this time. As I was leaving, Caleb was still getting an earful from the other colleagues. I saw him scribbling "go to hell" over and over on a piece of paper. If he couldn't handle this, he was really in for it when the team meetings started. Everyone on the team was a master of passing the buck, making empty promises, assigning their work to others, and subtly sabotaging people. Yeah, I wasn't exactly a saint myself. I grabbed my bag and walked out, trying not to think about it anymore. Flashes of my time with Maria played in my mind. The day I came in for my interview, I walked through the lobby, staring at the rising numbers on the elevator display, thinking how great it would be if I got to stay here, to see Maria more often. I never would have guessed that I'd be the one to walk away. The July evening breeze was cool, but I felt a little cold. It was as if the storm from when I was 18 was finally, fully breaking today. My phone suddenly lit up. A message from Maria's number. "Flex, Maria is with me right now, he." A second later, the message was deleted. I stared at the screen, and my eyes suddenly burned. I always thought I was supposed to be happy. How did we end up here? Was it my fault for being too stubborn? Or was it because I didn't understand her enough? Was Caleb just a bad guy? Or was Maria clueless? I don't know. After thinking it all over, the only person I could blame was myself, for being too fragile. If I were just a little stronger, I could have stopped myself from feeling so sad. "Flex." A hesitant voice called out my name. I quickly wiped my face. A tissue was held out in front of me. I took it and looked up. It was Vicki, Maria's friend. She never really liked me. Every time she saw me, her face would fall. She'd always pull Maria away. Seeing my red-rimmed eyes, she deliberately looked away. Her tone was flat. "What's wrong with you? Maria and I broke up." "Really? That's great." "Huh?" I thought I'd misheard her. Vicki quickly corrected herself. "I mean, that's terrible. What a shame. Such a pity." She tried her best to look sad, but her acting was terrible. I took a deep breath. "Yep, we broke up. I have good news and bad news. Which do you want to hear first?" Vicki wasn't expecting that. She looked confused for a second. Then her eyes lit up. "What's the good news?" "The good news is that Maria and I are completely, totally done." Vicki nodded enthusiastically. Her eyes filled with joy. The bad news is that Maria is probably straight, not a lesbian, so you don't have a shot." The color drained from Vicki's face. Fearing she was about to curse me out, I turned and ran without looking back. I knew it. The way she always had to drag Maria away from me. The way she couldn't hide her delight when she heard we broke up. She definitely had a crush on Maria. The distraction was enough to scatter my sadness. I opened my phone and, mimicking the tone of the message I'd received, texted Maria. "Maria, Vicki is with me right now, he." I didn't delete it. Back home, I started making a list, packing up a little bit each day to make sure I could leave immediately after my last day without forgetting anything. When I got to the 7th column, I paused for a long time. This column was for gifts, and many of them were from Maria. I planned to keep a few meaningful presents with me, carrying the love of my family and friends on my journey. Maria had given me so many unforgettable memories. For my 20th birthday, she was away on a business trip. I told her over and over not to worry about coming back. That work was more important. She didn't come, but she had a custom watch made for me. The shop required me to pick it up in person. It was only when I got there that I found out Maria had arranged a meeting for me with a leading figure in my industry. Even now, it's hard to describe exactly how I felt at that moment. I don't know if it was more gratitude, shock, or worry for her. I knew she must have pulled a lot of strings to get me that rare opportunity. She even thought to give me a heads up 2 hours in advance so I could prepare. After the meeting, the watch, the excuse for it all, was delivered to me. I'm not used to wearing accessories, so I've kept it carefully stored away ever since. It was much later that I found out she had actually rushed back to campus that day. But it was too late. She came for a quick glimpse of me and then had to leave just as quickly. I only discovered it when I found a photo on her phone. When I asked her why, she said casually, "I just wanted to see you." I was confused. But you were here. Why didn't you say hi? Maria glanced at me and smiled. Because I saw you skipping on your way back, and you looked so happy. The truth was, I wanted to see her. She was afraid I'd be sad if I missed her. Each gift was a shining piece of her heart from that time. My head was a mess. I wanted to escape for a moment, but I forced myself to sort through her things and post them on an online marketplace. Only after all that was done did I look at the string of missed calls on my phone. Just then, my phone rang again. I answered. The voice from the phone overlapped with a voice from outside my door. Flex, open up. She was standing right there, smiling with a hint of helplessness. Are you really not going to let me come home? It was as if she thought I was just having a temporary fit of anger and would get over it soon. Maria, we broke up. You know me. I would never joke about something like this, and I would never use a breakup as a threat to get what I want. If I said it, it means I've already made my decision. I can be impulsive, but when it comes to things I truly care about, I always think 10 steps ahead. Especially with the person I almost spent the rest of my life with. Maria stared at me for a long time, and once she realized I wasn't kidding, she panicked. Don't be like this. Her voice was low, almost pleading. There's nothing going on between Caleb and me. I just couldn't bear to see him in trouble. That doesn't mean I don't love you. I know. My words cut her off. Her eyes filled with confusion, as if asking me why. I'm not your teacher. I don't owe you an explanation. Let's not waste any more of each other's time. Since we're breaking up, let's make it a clean break. Dragging it out is pointless. I couldn't give myself a chance to waver, so I had to be cruel. Maria stared at me intently for a long time. She turned her face to the side, her jaw tight. She was holding back tears. We met when we were young, each other's first love. We both thought we had found the one we'd spend our lives with. After a long pause, she turned back to me. She tried to hold it in, but her voice still came out choked. I'm sorry. I won't get involved in other people's problems anymore. I know you're angry and you're using Vicki to get back at me. You hate Vicki, so I won't see her anymore either. I cut her off. Why would I hate her? I could understand why Vicki didn't like me, but she never did anything to hurt me. I had no reason to hate her. Hate is a powerful emotion that takes up too much energy. No one is worth my hatred. Who you see is none of my business anymore. Maria, I don't need you to change for me. That would be a burden. I know your intentions were good, but just because you're kind-hearted and he has a sob story, it doesn't mean the hurt you caused me isn't real. It doesn't work like that. Isn't your partner supposed to be your first priority in a relationship? If I wanted to be more cynical, I could think that maybe, after I started my career and became more independent and focused, Maria's role in my life diminished. Caleb's arrival filled that void. He was young, good-looking, and his admiration and dependence on her fulfilled an emotional need. I could think that way, attack her, and blame Caleb, but I didn't want it to end so ugly. She was silent. I could tell she still wanted to try to fix things. After a moment, Maria asked me, I can fix everything, put it all back the way it was. Why does it have to come to this? I took a step back and asked her, did you know Caleb used your phone to send me a message? Maria's face went white. She wasn't stupid. On the contrary, Maria was a very smart person. She instinctively knew it couldn't have been anything good. She tried to explain, her voice pale. He said his phone was dead and he just needed to let a friend know he was okay. I didn't know he would message you. I'll check the security cameras and file a police report. I closed the door and told her. I sent you that message about Vicki to give him a taste of his own medicine. The next day at work, I heard some gossip. After checking the security footage, Maria really did file a police report. She and Caleb went to the station to sort it out. A coworker asked me nosily, Flex, do you know what happened? That's the first time I've ever seen her that furious. Usually, even when she's mad, she just smiles while secretly making someone's life hell until they quit. His eyes darted across my face. I just got here. If you don't know, how would I? Seeing my response, my coworker dropped it. I didn't see either of them for several days, until I found Caleb waiting for me outside my apartment. He rushed over and grabbed my hand, tears already streaming down his face before he could speak. Flex, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please, can you forgive me? Before I could answer, Maria suddenly ran up, having clearly heard him. She angrily yanked him away from me. Shut up. Don't know what came over you? You used my phone to send a provocative message to Flex. You said you didn't want to be misunderstood, so what the hell was that? Caleb clung to my hand, refusing to let go. I pulled my hand away. My forgiveness means nothing to you. His tears fell even faster. I just wanted to see what would happen. You're not me. You don't know how hard my life is. I had no other choice. I pulled a pack of tissues from my bag and tossed it to him. You weren't seeing what would happen. You were gambling. Gambling that I would just swallow it, and gambling that Maria would be swayed. Rely on yourself instead of others, and try not to wallow in self-pity. Once you start feeling sorry for yourself, you get stuck in the victim role, trapped in an emotional vortex. The more you pity yourself, the more helpless you feel, and the more helpless you feel, the more you pity yourself. Caleb reacted as if I'd stepped on his tail, throwing the tissues violently to the ground. That's easy for you to say. You never consider anyone else's situation. Not everyone has the advantages you do. So what about people like me? Are we just supposed to die? You love seeing me beg, don't you? Maria picked up the tissues, her chest heaving as she suppressed her rage. Caleb, do you want to go back to the police station? This is between you and me. Why are you dragging Flex into it? I really regret ever listening to your sob story and helping you. Caleb froze, his swollen, red eyes looking up at Maria. I'm in love with you. Maria's expression darkened instantly. She turned to me to explain. If I had known he felt that way, I would have never had anything to do with him. I repeated myself again. We broke up. You don't need to explain anything to me. Maria's fingers tightened slightly, her voice losing its light. I know, but I don't want you to misunderstand. I said nothing. Ignored. Caleb glared at me. Feeling his intense stare, I looked at him. I didn't like Caleb, but the only reason I was even talking to him was that he hadn't bothered me at work, and he had inadvertently helped me break up with the wrong person. Aren't you leaving? Caleb left in tears. He was wearing dress shoes and was unsteady on his feet, stumbling as he walked away. Maria watched him go with a cold expression. I couldn't help but taunt her. What's wrong? Don't you think he needs your help now? Maria looked at me, her eyes glistening. I'm sorry. If you ever need help in the future, please come to me first. Okay? She didn't say anything else about getting back together. She loved me, and she knew me. I wouldn't have broken up with her unless I was absolutely sure. I couldn't bring myself to be gracious and tell her it was okay. I wasn't that big of a person. I just felt a lump in my throat, making it impossible to speak. My eyes started to burn. I quickly opened my door and said to her, I won't. Goodbye. My voice was shaking. Anyone could tell something was wrong. I shut the door, covered my mouth, and forced myself not to make a sound. Maria, there would be no more goodbyes. After finalizing my departure from the company, I sublet my apartment. I didn't want to stay here anymore. I was afraid that at a future interview, my department head would be one of my old coworkers. Or worse, Maria. When I was a kid, I dreamed of traveling the world, but the furthest I got was from JFK to LaGuardia. Friend requests kept popping up on my phone. Some had the name Vicki, others left messages asking where I was now. I ignored them. I'm not dense. I could guess what was going on, but I wasn't interested in their drama. A massive thunderstorm hit Southern California in August. As I sat by the window, listening to the rain beat against the glass, I got a call. The caller ID said Maria. The first time, I didn't answer. She called a second time. Maybe it was the sound of the storm, but on a whim, I picked up. The voice on the other end wasn't Maria's. It was a bright, boyish voice. Big brother, when are you coming to play with me? Big brother, I miss you. My sister is the meanest meanie. She won't let me call you. I found your number all by myself. Aren't I so smart? It was Maria's little brother. The little guy who loved playing video games with me and climbing on my back. He used to say I was the only one who would practice basketball with him and play through a whole game with him. He'd call himself smart or a genius when he wanted a compliment. I froze. Hearing no response, he kept saying hello, hello, into the phone. I snapped back to reality. The roar of the rain outside grew louder. I hear you, little man. Wow, big brother. His voice was so full of joy I could feel his excitement through the phone. Big brother, I miss you so much. You said I'd get to see you when my summer vacation started, and I've been on vacation for a long time. But my sister won't let me see you, and Mom said you're a grown-up, and grown-ups have to make money and work is really hard. So I waited and waited for so many days, but you never came. His mood deflated, but then it quickly bounced back. I have money. I didn't buy snacks. It's all for you to play with me. He chirped like a little sparrow, repeating, big brother, big brother. I figured Maria and her mom thought that if they just put him off, he'd eventually forget. I never imagined he'd still remember after all this time. I couldn't bear to give him hope only to let him down. I was a kid once, too. I know that when adults make casual promises, kids take them to heart. I watched the raindrops hit the glass, instantly blooming like flowers. Buddy, your sister and I broke up. I'm sorry, but I can't come play with you anymore. The other end of the line went silent. He asked, confused, big brother, what does broke up mean? I thought for a moment and told him, it means we won't see each other again. The little guy's sobs came instantly through the phone. He choked out, if you broke up with my sister, you can't play with me anymore? I said, that's right. Those are the rules for grown-ups. Don't cry, okay? A new big brother will come to your house to play with you someday. He cried even harder. Grown-ups are all meanies. My sister is the meanest. Then, he added, you're not a meanie, big brother. I like you. I don't want a new big brother. I want you, big brother. He called my name between sobs. I tried my best to console him. You're a good, sweet little man. So many more people will like you when you grow up, and someone will always be there to play with you. The rain never stopped. It soaked everything, making the days feel bloated and heavy. I used to fight it to not let people flow through my life like a river. I desperately tried to hold on to some of them. But as I've gotten older, I've started to allow and accept everything. I allow my weakness, my tears, my inability to be magnanimous. I also allow the people I love to be nothing more than flowers of water on my windowpane. Don't cry, little guy. One day you'll grow up, and I'll just be a story you tell. When I was a kid, I really liked my sister's ex-boyfriend. He was the only one who would patiently play with me. After they broke up, I even called him crying. Or maybe I won't even appear in his memory at all. But either way, it's okay. I accept it all completely. A book I'd skimmed through as a kid finally made sense one day. Much later, I finally understood what the author must have been feeling when he wrote it. The past is a distant shore, and the old house is no longer there. All that's left is to listen to the cold rain.